Hello and a warm welcome to TBC News. Our top stories. Veta to meet demands of labor market. President Samia and economic development.
Samia has to open up the economy for the private sector, for the public sector, and even for those who are not in the normal formal sector to do their business.
Good evening, I am Faida Ngaga. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online. Also, get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa urges Tanzanians and government institutions to support entrepreneurs by using their products so as to increase their income and eventually strengthen the economy. Majaliwa made the remarks in Dar es Salaam at the celebrations to mark 30 years of Vocational Education and Training Authority, Veta. Kanki Mwagomole has more details.
Vocational Education and Training Authority, Veta, was established in 1994 with the aim of coordinating and teaching vocational education. Speaking at the 30 years anniversary of Veta, Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa urges education stakeholders to teach lessons that meet the demands of the labor market.
Veta imejidhatiti katika kuboresha mafunzo.
Veta has been committed to improving training by establishing vocational training program in the various fields. It has worked closely with the private sector and international organizations to ensure that the training provided in the country meets industry needs and improves access to services.
He says with the current technology advancement, Veta must strive to cope with advanced technology.
Hakikisheni mnashirikiana na viwanda.
Ensure that you collaborate with the various industry, employers and organizations, both locally and internationally, to provide training opportunities that are relevant to our job markets.
On his part, the Director General of Veta, Anthony Kasore, says his institution is prepared to improve training and deliver graduates with skills. Kanki Mwegomole, TBC News.
It has been 4 years since President Samia Suluhu Hassan was sworn in as the president of Tanzania. And in the 4 years, she has undertaken significant steps of ensuring economic development in the country. Antonia Kivaria takes us through these initiatives.
Samia Suluhu Hassan, naapa kwamba nitakuwa mwaminifu kwa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania na kuitumikia kwa moyo wangu wote.
March 19th, 2021, Samia Suluhu Hassan was sworn in as the President of the United Republic of Tanzania. Her leadership style and policies reflect the commitment in fostering growth, enhancing regional cooperation, and embodying the concept of the democratic state, which emphasizes purpose and shared vision among Africans. Speaking to TBC News, economic analyst Dr. Hildebert Shayo says President Samia has continued the legacy of her predecessor by prioritizing infrastructure projects. She has enhanced efforts in constructing roads, railways, and ports to improve connectivity and facilitate trade, which is vital to economic growth.
What does this mean? Everything is in order. The economy is moving to the right direction, thanks to the decision taken by Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan to open up the economy for the private sector, for the public sector, and even for those who are not in the normal formal sector to do their business.
Dr. Shayo also emphasizes that President Samia has aligned her economic strategies with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, ensuring that Tanzania's development is inclusive and environmentally sustainable.
He has attended a number of international conferences, international engagement in China, in Korea, in Paris, in America. All this has helped to open up the country, and this has also brought in Tanzania what I would call foreign direct investment. It has encouraged investors to come and invest here, because Dr. Samia has also looked into the issues of tax system, because she believed that when you have a stable tax system within the government, within the economy, you will attract foreigners who wants to invest in this country to come and invest here.
On his part, Novato Sengosha, an economic analyst, elaborates that by promoting technology and innovation in various sectors, she encourages the next generation to embrace new ideas and approaches, positioning them for success in rapidly changing global economy.
Open up the country, relationship with India, November 2023. She was also invited in China in 2022. But the SSH has also opened foreign direct investments, which has put our country on the tapestry of international stage. We have seen even very recently where we have been having peace talks for East African heads of state here in Dar es Salaam, but also the Energy Summit. All this is because of Samia's pragmatic foreign policy.
As Tanzania's first female president, she embodies empowerment, particularly for women and girls. Her leadership opens pathway for future leaders from diverse backgrounds, fostering an environment of equality and opportunity. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Antonia Kivaria, TBC News.
On the same note, Minister of Defense and National Service, Dr. Stargomena Tax, commends President Samia Suluhu Hassan for her active engagement in various national and international events which have reinforced Tanzania's role on the global stage. Speaking in an exclusive interview with TBC News on notable achievements in the Defense and National Service under her 4-year presidency, Dr. Tax highlights the president's steadfast commitment to maintaining peacekeeping initiatives.
The leadership of Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan during her tenure as the president of the 6th government, she has done a lot in the security, peace and security and defense sector. In terms of capacitating the Tanzania People Defense Forces, in terms of equipment, but also in terms of personnel, but also in terms of, I also forgot when I was speaking in Swahili that she has also been attending activities in person. This has is a great contribution because it enables to enhance the morale of our forces. So she has done that. She has been attending a number of activities. When she is invited, she'll be there, and when she goes there, she'll talk to the defense forces, the soldiers, the officers, and this enhances her morale. But also through her emphasis on enhancing cooperation with other members or other countries, the defense we call it a defense diplomacy has also been enhanced. So it is a lot that she has been able to achieve within this short period of time, and this is because of her commitment, but also her capacity to lead the country and to lead in various sectors, including in the defense sector.
Now, to further discuss 4 years of President Samia Suluhu Hassan in power, I have invited Dr. Hildebrand Shayo, an economic expert and analyst. Dr. Shayo, welcome to TBC News.
Thank you so much.
To start, to what extent has President Samia's leadership successfully implemented various policy initiatives?
Yes, since Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan came into power, there has been 4 years to date. There has been a number of policies that she initiated and some policies that were more reinforced. Now, these policies cut across key sectors of the economy in this country. For example, these sectors drives the economic growth. Now, some of these sectors are infrastructure development, you have foreign investment, you have industrialization, you have tourism sector, you have agriculture, among other sectors. Now, each of these sectors has got something to contribute into the economy, meaning its implementation. Now, perhaps I could just give a highlight of some of the few sectors. For example, industrialization and manufacturing sector, policies that has been, or processes that were introduced or reinforced by Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan has promoted, for example, the existence of the special economic zones and industrial park. And all these are going to boost manufacturing, meaning it's going also to increase opportunities for job creation, apart from creating opportunities for more revenue generation through taxes. But also increased public-private partnership to expand the industrial sector. There has been a lot of initiative to ensure that both private and public sector work together for sectors that government sees there is a need to tap into technology, tap into knowledge that is given by the private sector, but also support for the local content policies. These are policies that were introduced in such industries like mining and oil and gas. So the implication of this sector, policies or the implementation are going to have a huge impact in the economy, meaning in the contribution of the economy, contribution of the GDP. That is one of the key sector that has been introduced. Another sector, for example, is infrastructure. During the 4 years of Her Excellence, there has been completion of the standard gauge, which is going on. The first phase from Dar es Salaam to Morogoro, Morogoro to Dodoma, and the other lots are still in place. This is because the policies were strengthened to make sure that they deliver. There's been expansion of the Dar es Salaam port to boost infrastructure. There's been investment in hydroelectric power like Madam Julius Nyerere for power generation. What does these sectors going to contribute into the economy? Improve regional trade and logistic efficiency, which will allow free movement of goods, which is going to have an impact on cost of production for both for the private sector and for our neighbor countries that are using Dar es Salaam port at their exit. Then there is going to be a reliable electricity supply. And when you have a reliable supply of electricity, you are going to have ability to promote industrial, and we are going to enhance digital economy, because without power, without stable power, that's not going to happen. Then when you have a stable infrastructure, it's going to attract foreign direct investment due to the better infrastructure which is on the ground, which investors want to see this infrastructure because it's going to boost their investment. But also there have been improvement in the foreign investment and business environment reforms. Now, this has helped to ease the business reforms to reduce the bureaucracy, because you remember there was a time we didn't have a one-stop center where you can go as an investor and you finalize all your requirements in one place. But now it's possible under TIC. Yeah, strengthening the bilateral relationship particularly with China, United Arab and EU. But also tax incentive has been provided, and even she has formed this tax commission, which is looking into ways which are going to support and inform President which areas, which taxes are being regarded as a constraint to allow certain economic activities to take place, even to allow those who are outside the tax net to come in to produce. So all these incentives, all these policies and the others in agriculture, there has been a lot of support under TADB, the bank that gives loans for supporting agriculture. Agriculture is going to provide raw materials, is going to provide food, is going to provide export. All these policies in other sectors, because I've just given an example, are going to contribute heavily to the improvement of the economy. So I won't be surprised moving forward, our economy is going to move from the current contribution to the GDP into 6 or 7 contribution percent, because these are according to statistics by the World Bank, by the IMF, even by our central bank and by Bureau of Statistics. When you look at the statistics, there are all indications. Implementation of these policies that Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan has been pushing, has been supervising through his supported ministers are going to place this country into a right direction, and the economy is going to move forward, and we are going to be able to move to the middle upper economic class. Yeah.
Do you think all these mega development initiatives and impacts are trickling down to individual Tanzanians? To what extent?
Well, to start measuring how these outcomes are going to trickle down to an individual, it is possible, it is obvious, because when the economy grows, when the rate of inflation comes down, the cost of living goes down. And in that way, sometimes people do argue that, well, the economy is growing, but I don't see money in my pocket. But they fail to look at the bigger picture, which, if things were not done properly, the cost of living will have been very high, and then there will have been impact.
Of these policy initiatives that you just mentioned?
Well, implementation of the policies within the country is one thing. But Tanzania is not an island. We trade with different partners. We receive support that are taking place globally, in one way or another, could affect our policies internal. That's one. But for example, when you look at the issues of agriculture, we have the issues of global warming, global climate change, and all that. We could have a very good policy. We could have a lot of farms in place, but due to the weather, pattern of the weather, which have no border, we'll find that we are being affected. Or for example, currently, the measures that have been taken by the big superpowers, in one way or another, indirectly, they could affect the companies or the countries Tanzania trade with. For example, if we were trading with China, China were using our raw material, and then China were producing goods that they were selling to America. Now China has been given tariffs from America. They cannot export to America. So that means in China, they will reduce demand of goods that they were importing from Tanzania. That means
there is always a way to meander around those factors.
Yeah, there is a way to make sure that our economy is stable. Because to navigate, to circumvent this globe, is to have a strong policies, to have a determination, working as a team, and for Africa, having intra-trade, where we can produce based on comparative advantage. Tanzania can produce a certain goods, can sell to Zambia. Zambia can produce certain goods, can sell to South Africa. Malawi, the same to Zambia, or Tanzania to Kenya, Kenya to Uganda. So we can trade among ourselves. So when these changes takes place globally, at least we will be able to withstand that storm.
And currently there is the Africa Free Trade Continental Area?
Yeah, of course, this is an opportunity. I was talking somewhere the other day, I said, what is happening globally, especially with this trade war going on? This is a great an opportunity for Africa to sit down and see how can Africa move trade among themselves. Can they deal with the trade barriers? Because trade barriers or tariffs is a two-sword thing. It affects you, and it also affects the others. But in long term, it's going to cause a lot of problems. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shayo.
Thank you, too.
Now, in other news, Tanzania is expected to receive approximately $74 million from International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, to finance small farmers and development projects in rural areas. Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Amina Shaban, revealed that in Dodoma after meeting with the country director of IFAD. On the other hand, the country director says IFAD will continue to cooperate with Tanzania in the agricultural sector.
We are focusing on youth also. We see that there is a lot of potential that youth of Tanzania can do a lot of things, including business, small business enterprise. When you're talking about the starting project we have recently starting now, we are focusing on the milk collection center, and we are hoping that youth will be able to, engage with this more precisely and more, it's open space for them to just coming in, and we are able to bring a lot of youth people in the rural area benefiting in our program.
He says IFAD aims at promoting society through different projects in fishery, infrastructure and agriculture. Let's have a look at other stories now. Uganda's ambassador to Tanzania, Fred Mwesige, says the East African crude oil pipeline project has created 60,000 jobs for young people, spurred infrastructural development along its route, and is expected to generate $2 billion in annual revenue for Tanzania. In an exclusive interview with my colleague Caroline Maleo, Ambassador Mwesige emphasizes that the project is also a gesture of appreciation for Tanzania's role in Uganda's liberation, highlighting the social and economic benefits it has brought to both countries.
That time, when my president was being nurtured here, when he was supported to overthrow the Amin, even when we went to the bush for the war of liberation, the second war of liberation, Mwalimu still supported us. Okay? So all that time, my president had wanted to say thank you to Tanzania. When we discovered the oil, we wanted this oil to go to the seas, to the oceans, to go to the world market. We had no route. So what my president did, he asked the leadership of Tanzania at that time, and the negotiators agreed that our oil should pass through Tanzania.
The EACOP project is a major economic project that is going on between Uganda and Tanzania. Can you explain a little bit about it and its impact to both the Tanzanians and the Ugandans?
So we have the longest heated pipeline in the world, and it is 1,443 kilometers. And Tanzania leadership agreed that this pipeline can go through Tanzania. The longest leg, which is 1,200, is through Tanzania, is within Tanzania. Now, this pipeline is $5 billion US, okay? Now, the longest leg of 1,000 is through Tanzania. This oil pipeline, like the umbilical cord between Tanzania and Uganda. So this shapes the current situation in between is partaking in Uganda and Tanzania, because this pipeline is, when you are going to pass through Tanzania, it has brought a lot of social and economic transformation in the area where it passes.
Now, before we wind up local news, let's have a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Do not miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news. And here is Zaudia Swaleh with international news.
The M23 rebel group has announced its withdrawal from the Congolese peace talks that was scheduled to take place in Luanda, Angola. M23 spokesman Lawrence Kanyuka says ongoing military attacks by the Congolese army were making the talks more difficult and impossible. The group also cited international sanctions imposed by the European Union on its members as a major obstacle to the talks. Reports from the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, says Congolese delegates were ready in Luanda. On the other hand, the head of the United Nations Peacekeeping Force, Jean-Pierre Lacroix, has called for an immediate ceasefire in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. Two NASA astronauts stranded on the International Space Station ISS since June have begun their journey back to Earth aboard a SpaceX Dragon spacecraft. Astronauts Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore were sent on an 8-day mission that turned into a 9-month one following technical problems with their Boeing Starline capsule. The return trip home is expected to last for about 17 hours. And President Donald Trump of United States and President Vladimir Putin of Russia are expected to hold a telephone conversation to discuss a ceasefire plan in Ukraine. The two sides have agreed to discuss a draft USA plan to end the fighting in Ukraine. President Trump says he is hopeful that Russia will agree to ceasefire plan in Ukraine.
That was international news. Sports news up next. And in sports news, Yanga Princess crushed out their arch-rivals Simba Queens by a 1-0 in close contest match held at KMC Complex and revived their chance of finishing in top 3 of Tanzania Women Premier League. Yanga Princess head coach Edina Lema believes that their victory will boost morale of players.
People are beginning to see the team's progress since we entered the second round, as we haven't lost a single match. This is a sign of the team's growth and strength. Most importantly, we won the derby regardless of how we finished the league.
I've told them to be patient, have patience when you get to goal scoring. But unfortunately, they were desperate to score, and we all the chances that we were supposed to convert, we couldn't do it.
The victory of Yanga Princess means they have accumulated 21 points, 10 points behind league leaders Simba Queen, who has remained on top of the league table with 31 points. In other sports news, wheelchair tennis expert Patrick Selepe from South Africa says he has been impressed with talents displayed by Tanzanian wheelchair tennis players after a 2-day extensive training gearing up for Paralympics Tournament 2028. Speaking to TBC News after training in Dar es Salaam, Selepe says he believes that skills that have been given to Tanzania wheelchair tennis players will be a catalyst in the coming Paralympics 2028.
Our primary goal is to qualify for the 2028 Paralympics, making this our most significant investment in their development.
Going to